Hi, Oddings. Welcome to Something Scary. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that you can now listen to the show as a podcast on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and leave us a rating by clicking the link in the description below.
Hey, I'm Sapphire. Want to hear something scary? Lady Blanca.
The following is inspired by a true story from Hazel. My parents split early in my life, when I was around 7 years old. Mom got to keep the house and us along with it. My mom blamed the divorce on my grandma. Grandma was from my father's side, and she absolutely despised us. We had to take her in as she got older, but she was never grateful. She would claim to feed me and my sister, only to leave us hours without food. She was filthy and would make us clean up after her. Worst of all, she constantly chided my father for marrying my mom. She would call us worthless, and she would tease me and my sister until we cried. Soon, it was enough for my mom, and Dad left, thankfully with Grandma along with him. A few weeks after the divorce, my sister and I went to our backyard to play tag. It was a hot summer day, and our neighborhood was known for having stray cats. A couple of them would come by and lay under our house to seek shade from the powerful sun. Today was one of the hottest yet, but for some reason, no cats came to visit us. My sister and I went to the alley where most of the strays live, only to find the cats hissing in the direction of our house. Me and my sister tried to shrug it off as the weather, but something stopped my sister dead in her tracks. She turned to something peeking out behind the dumpster. She pointed in horror and shouted, "Sis, look, look! Oh, the poor thing." I strained my eyes. It looked like a weird red ball. Then I noticed the ears, the nose, and those bloodshot eyes. It was the head of a kitten. Someone had drilled a piece of bark straight through its skull. Its eyes remained permanently fixed in a state of terror. My sister went to pick it up, but I swatted her hand away, and we ran straight back to our house. There on the porch, it was the rest of the kitten. Fur crusty with dried blood, missing its head. The chest of the kitten had been opened up, and someone had forcefully replaced its intestines with hot, sizzling stones. We ran, screaming in fear, knowing that this was not an accident. A couple days go by, and me and my sister tried to distract each other from the gruesome incident by watching TV. We figured it was some thug's idea of a cruel joke, and we were too afraid to get my mom involved. Something jolted us from our show. A cat's painful cry from the basement. We ran downstairs as fast as we could to find another red furry clump, unmoving. This one had its heart pulled out of its chest. But those terror-struck eyes from the last kitten were missing. In their place were two red pits. I thought the kittens would be the most of my worries. At least I could distract myself with sleep, or so I thought. Sometimes I would wake up not being able to move. I was paralyzed, and my sister couldn't help me. In fact, she was gone. In her place was a man with sharp red eyes. He would climb onto my chest, yelling, "I'll now never." Eventually, I'd lose my breath, and then I would wake up. The dreams were frequent. I couldn't handle them anymore. I had to tell my mom. I woke up and walked over to her room, but she was crying. She told me she can't find anyone to buy our small house, and no apartment in the area will accept us. She apologized for making us feel trapped. I shook my head and tried to reassure her. She asked me why I was up so late. I finally broke down, explaining the kittens my sister and I found outside, and also about the scary man from my dreams. My mom's face changed into a look of concern. This wasn't coincidental. This was the work of black magic. Black magic is when one sells their soul to the devil to inherit the ability to curse people. Mom went into the other room and called someone who went by the name of Lady Blanca. A half hour later, a woman showed up to our house. Her outfit was strange and a bit creepy, and her fearful expression scared me even more. If she's the black magic expert, what in our house could possibly be scaring her?
Listen to me carefully. Whatever is in this house can kill you.
She walked around the house.
I feel the presence of a demon. He takes the shape of a man with red eyes.
I told her that I always see him in my room during my nightmares. She nodded and ran to my room, yelling,
You must leave this family alone.
She flipped over my bed, shouting,
I see it! I see it!
Confused, we all looked at each other. She then started to jump on my floorboards, yelling,
I need a hammer, something to lift the boards, hurry!
My mom ran and gave her a hammer. She banged on the floor until a board popped up. Inside was a plain white box with Latin written on it. Lady Blanca read the Latin out loud.
Death.
She opened the box and we crowded around to see what was inside. Bundled up in the bottom were the bones of a cat.
These cat bones are a curse. Someone sacrificed this mother and her newborn kittens in order to invite that demon into your home. I will take them with me.
Lady Blanca left the house with the box. The next morning, my mother received a call. It was one of the apartment managers she applied to. It seems there was a mix-up with applications. I'm happy to inform you that we're going to take you and your family in. You can pick up your keys next Monday. I'm very sorry about the inconvenience, ma'am. Lady Blanca called a week after we got situated in our new apartment. Mom put her on speaker so we could hear that the disposal was a success and there would be no more demons haunting us. Lady Blanca, how could this have happened in the first place? Who would curse us?
Someone must have lived in that house previously. They must have had a comfortable life, having others take care of them, loading their issues onto other people in the house. However, this was not a good person. Whenever they left, they cursed the building to bring bad luck to anyone who lived there.
My mother froze and stared at us. I shared her look of shock and fear. The last person to leave this house was Grandma.
Do you want more Something Scary? You can listen to the extended version of this episode over at Apple Podcasts. The link is in the description below.
Like and share this video if it gave you the chills. And don't forget to subscribe to Snarled and turn on the bell for notifications. And if you dare, follow me on social media. Until next time, sweet dreams.